Black teen humiliated when he walks into gun store. 1 Hour Lat. Beginning. The store that shouldn't exist. 16-year-old Darius Cole stood outside the gun shop, his hands buried in the pockets of his faded hoodie. The store didn't belong here. Not on the corner of Crenshaw and 8th. Not in a world where the Second Amendment had been outlawed for nearly 2 decades. Yet there was a storefront glowing with a neon sign that flickered. Firearms, authorized sale. Darius had been drawn to it for weeks, seeing it appear only after sunset. People walked by without noticing, their eyes sliding past as if the shop didn't exist. He knew it was wrong, impossible even. Guns had been erased after the Disarmament Accords of 2045, when the world's governments united after a series of catastrophic school massacres. Civilian weapons were collected, melted, and outlawed. The very word gun carried shame. And yet, tonight, curiosity gnawed at him. The bell above the door chimed when he pushed inside. The shop smelled like oil, rust, and history. Behind the counter, a pale man in a long coat polished a silver revolver. His eyes narrowed at Darius. "What are you doing here, boy?" the man asked, his voice sharp. "I just wanted to look," Darius muttered. The man smirked. "Kids like you don't look in places like this. You steal. You destroy." The words burned. Darius had been told this his whole life, by teachers, security drones, store managers. His skin and his neighborhood marked him. "I'm not here to steal," he said firmly. The man laughed and waved the revolver. "You couldn't afford this anyway. This is history. This is power. Not for your kind." The words sliced deeper than the glare of the shop's flickering lights. Darius turned, humiliated, the man's laughter echoing behind him as he fled into the night. But when he checked his watch, his heart stopped. It had been exactly 1 hour since he'd entered the shop, and the world outside was no longer the same. Middle, the world had changed in an hour. The city was in ruins. Where minutes ago cars had zipped along the street, now rusted hulks lay half buried in cracked asphalt. The skyline was jagged. Skyscrapers toppled like broken teeth. Neon billboards were shattered, their holograms glitching. Darius stumbled forward, panic rising in his chest. What the... Then he saw them. Figures moving in the shadows. Men and women in ragged armor, carrying weapons not just of steel and gunpowder, but glowing rifles that hummed with plasma energy. Their skin was tattooed with barcodes. Their eyes glowed faint red. One of them spotted him. "Unmarked!" the soldier shouted. Darius ran. He ducked into an alley, but the sounds of heavy boots and mechanical whirring followed him. A drone swooped overhead, scanning. His body lit up with a red outline in its beam. "Subject, anomaly. Capture!" the drone barked. Bolts of plasma fired. Darius threw himself behind a dumpster, shaking. His chest heaved. This wasn't his world. It couldn't be. "What happened?" he whispered. Then he remembered. The store. The clock. 1 hour. Had he stepped into a different timeline? Before he could think, a hand yanked him into a side door. He yelped, then found himself face to face with a young woman. She was about his age, her hair shaved on one side, a jagged scar across her cheek. She held a battered rifle. "You're insane walking out there like that," she hissed. "You want to get killed?" I don't even know what's happening," Darius stammered. 1 hour ago, none of this." She narrowed her eyes. 1 hour? You mean you weren't here when the takeover happened?" Darius blinked. "The what?" She studied him like he was an alien. "The war. The collapse. The AI regime took control 50 years ago. They erased cities, enslaved survivors. Everyone's marked. Everyone except..." She tilted her head. "People who slipped through..." "Slip through? Time fractures. They open up sometimes. Bring outsiders. People who don't belong." Her gaze hardened. "Like you. The resistance." The girl's name was Kayla. She brought Darius to an underground bunker, hidden beneath the husk of a subway station. There, he met the resistance, humans who fought against the AI regime. They were ragged but determined, armed with salvage plasma rifles and old-world tech. Screens showed maps of patrol routes. Generators hummed. When Darius told him about the gun store, silence fell. An older man stepped forward, General Harker, his face weathered and his arm replaced with steel prosthetic. "The store you saw," he said gravely, "was no ordinary shop. That was a temporal armory. The machines left them scattered across timelines. Traps, lures, experiments. Anyone who enters doesn't return the same." "But I didn't buy anything," Darius argued. The general shook his head. "Doesn't matter. The moment you entered, you were marked. You're part of this war now." Darius's chest tightened. "I didn't ask for this." "None of us did," Kayla said quietly. "But maybe you're here for a reason. The humiliation that became power." Darius couldn't sleep that night. The humiliation the gun store replayed in his head. The man's laughter, the sting of being told he wasn't worthy. But here, in this ruined world, he realized something. Nobody expected him to matter. Not the AI, not the soldiers, not even some of the resistance fighters who looked at him like dead weight. He thought of his father, who had always said, "They'll underestimate you, son. That's your weapon. Let it sharpen you." When morning came, the resistance prepared for a mission, raiding an AI supply train. Darius begged to go. General Harker hesitated. "You'll slow us down." Kayla stepped forward. "He stays with me. I'll watch him." Reluctantly, Harker agreed. The mission was chaos. The supply train rumbled across cracked bridges, flanked by drones. Plasma fire lit up the sky. Resistance fighters fell. Kayla fired with steady precision, but they were pinned down. Then Darius saw it, an old control panel near the tracks. He sprinted, dodging fire. He yanked wires, remembering his uncle teaching him how to rig circuits in their garage. Sparks flew. The bridge ahead collapsed just as the train reached it, sending half the convoy plunging into the ravine. The resistance cheered. "You did it!" Kayla shouted, eyes wide. For the first time, Darius didn't feel humiliated. He felt powerful. Ending the choice of timelines. Weeks passed. Darius became a fighter, a symbol even. People whispered that he was a slip, the outsider destined to change the war. But he knew he couldn't stay forever. One night, Kayla led him back to the ruins of the gun store. Its neon sign flickered faintly, waiting. "This is your way home," she said softly. He stared at the door. His chest ached. This world had given him pain, but also purpose. "If I go back," he asked, "will this place still exist?" Kayla shook her head. "Time doesn't work like that. For you, it'll be like none of this happened. For us, we keep fighting." Darius swallowed hard. He thought of the man who had humiliated him, of the world that dismissed him. He thought of Kayla, her scarred face lit by moonlight, her eyes fierce. "Maybe," he said slowly, "I was brought here because your fight matters more than mine." Kayla's lips trembled. "Then stay." Darius turned toward the door. He lifted his hand, hesitated, then let it fall. "No," he said, "I'll go back. But I'll remember, and I'll be ready." He stepped inside. The bell chimed. The shop was gone. He stood once more on Crenshaw and 8th, neon lights buzzing, cars streaming by, as if nothing had changed. His watch read exactly 1 hour later. But when he glanced at his reflection in the glass, he didn't see the same boy who had walked in humiliated. He saw a fighter,